Yes, sir. The hype panel is here. And if you're like me, you were probably outside this weekend enjoying the beautiful weather, at least in this part of the country, completely oblivious to the fact that Kanye West and Kim Kardashian got married. Yeah, completely oblivious. But whether you like it or not, Kimye's, apparently that's the mashup, they had people frantic on social media all weekend, and most news agencies actually made mention of their wedding. But perhaps our favorite headline today, I love this, where do you see this? This was from the New York Post, 3 short paragraphs, which essentially said, 2 jackasses got married in Italy on Saturday. Sex tape star Kim Kardashian wed egotist Kanye West in a wedding opulent enough for Florence's Medici dynasty and tacky enough for reality TV. They were betrothed at Florence's 16th century Fort de Belvedere castle. Olympic athlete Bruce Jenner, who else, walked Kim down the aisle. The Republic still stands. That is clever writing. Harsh but deserved. Let's bring in the hype panel to crack that one. Of course, soul musician Sean Jones, as always. Singer-songwriter Jacelyn Holmes, and online editor for The Grid Toronto, Stuart Berman. Did you pay any attention? I know you were locked inside all weekend.
Yeah, I was in studio recording, but this is the first time I've actually wanted the unknown author to come forward. You know, they always have so much wisdom in the quotes, unknown author, whatever. I just really thought that was hilarious. And I want to know who wrote that.
Yeah, well, some editorial writer is just having a great time. So, this was a big deal, right? Should it be, or what are your thoughts?
Although, I mean, my personal experience, this past weekend, a lot of terrible things happened in Santa Barbara and Belgium, and I felt like those stories dominated my social media feed, which in a way kind of makes me
I'm so happy.
Thankful for humanity that we were putting more emphasis on, truly important stories. And so I felt like this wedding happened. There's all this hype, and it just kind of passed by, and I was like, oh yeah, this happened this weekend. I managed to avoid it, which is fortunate.
Some of the things that I was thinking of, their Kardashian industry, there was even a quote by Kanye saying, "We're not stupid. We didn't make negotiations with anybody. We're very well aware of this industry that Kardashian is, and as well as himself." But it was like a variety show. There were so many things going on, from fashion to the fact. Did you know there was a 70-meter marble table that they ate at? 200 guests fit at this
marble table
made by whoever, I can't remember. And that is a variety show. There's something for everyone. John Legend performed All of Me. I think that was probably the highlight.
The classiest thing that went on.
The most talented and classy, not with a K, with a C, that went on.
How are the Kardashians still in industry? I'm sorry.
I don't know. I think I think it's slowing down. I think I think it's slowly starting to wean away, and but there's still those girls. We have a whole generation of young girls now that just want to be famous. They have no clue what they want to be famous for, but they just want to be famous.
I'm still not sure what these people are famous for.
Well, that's
Kanye West.
I mean,
that's
the sex tape move was brilliant for her. I mean, her friend Paris Hilton, reached a new level of celebrity through one, so she just leaked it willingly.
Yeah. Anyway, apparently they're at a castle in Ireland now, because the castle in Italy just wasn't enough for them, and too much money, too little sense. Okay, let's talk about beautiful things. Okay, let's talk about some music that you guys are going to recommend to our faithful viewers. And Jacelyn, why don't you kick us off this?
Okay. Stuart, help me up here. Royskop and Robin. Did I do it right?
Royskop.
Okay. So they're Scandinavian royalty, and they're going to save pop music. Robin has been around for a really long time, and they're coming out with a really awesome, raw mini album. So 5 tracks, 2 boast about 10 minutes, so it's kind of hasn't been done in a while, maybe since Queen. And this is off of her new release. H&M filmed the music video along with 2 Scandinavian directors, and it's called Say It, from her Do It Again mini album.
Cool, let's listen in. This looks cool. That's kind of techno.
Yeah, you're going to hear it in the clubs. It's going to wash over. It's what's happening in Europe right now, and then we just get,
we get the seconds. Yeah. What do you think?
Man, if I hear another one of these songs, and maybe I'm just being too pessimistic with music these days. I know.
It's for the people.
It gets people moving.
I'm sure it does, but just listening to it, I'm like, I've heard this a million times. I've heard this a million times. Nothing is changing. It's the same stuff, and I know. It's a dirty pleasure. You get into the club and you start dancing too. You drink some alcohol. It's all good. But when you really sit back and think about it,
as a piece of music,
there's nothing there. The visual's great. Great visual. But I mean,
I mean, it's not Robyn's most representative track, but I think in the context of her whole career, you know, this is someone who started as a teen pop star in the late 90s, and she's sort of reemerged in the 2000s at the forefront of this like electro pop scene. I think it's a very interesting move for her, and it shows that she's still, you know, experimenting. You know,
that's always a good
growing as an artist.
New phase of her career.
Yeah, I'd dance to it. Yep. Stuart, what's your choice?
I got a guy named Bry Webb who was in a band for 10 years called the Constantines, who broke up in 2010, are actually reuniting in 2 weeks at the Field Trip Festival at Fort York. And, you know, they're known for kind of combining that sort of blue-collar Springsteen sound with more of a punk rock bass. But since he's gone solo in 2010, he's sort of gone the complete opposite direction, super mellow. He's a new dad, so he sings a lot about fatherhood, but in a very like honest, unsentimental way. It just like, my life has changed and this is what I'm dealing with right now.
All right, let's listen in.
Say something or nothing more. Days beyond the ordinary days, beyond the ordinary days.
Fairly stripped down sound.
Yeah. I mean, it's you know, he's coming from that sort of Neil Young, Gordon Lightfoot kind of mindset. And
do you think it was sentimental? Does it sound sentimental?
I think that it did, and it was like a love lullaby to his son and going through fatherhood, which I mean many people can resonate with. But I think that he's in his line, in his lyric of the song, it said "ordinary life" or something like that, and I think that this is just ordinary. Like we're really magnifying on this certain situation, this artist, because it's so different from his punk kind of Constantine band that you want to pay more attention to it.
That's interesting.
Then he's got some, you know, you opened up for Feist. He also has, he is really good lyricist. I will give him that. And it's nice to see someone deviate, but that's why it's getting the attention, I think.
Once again, I've heard this a million times. This will be my thing for today. I've heard this a million times, and I'm sure live.
You better put out a good album.
I know. Well,
you better put out a good album. I've been thinking
about it. Trust me.
Your album will called 1,000,001.
I heard this before.
But I have, and you know, I'm sure live it probably comes across really sincere and great. But just listening to it, I'm like, oh
yeah. Well, the problem with parenthood is when you reach it the first time, it's like, oh, I'm the first human that I've ever been a parent of that, right? So, and then suddenly you realize, okay, I guess I'm not. Okay, Sean, what's your nomination?
Billboard Music Awards that just happened. They did this tribute to Michael Jackson, and basically did this holographic thing where they brought back Michael, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to talk about the technology because I have not a clue. It's quantum physics, and I'm a musician. Like really, we'll stop it right there. I'm not going to talk about the track because honestly, I wasn't a big fan of the first single that was released, and this one is okay. But I'll just say that it was really nice to see Michael on stage, even if it was just smoke and mirrors that was literally happening. But the track is actually all right. And
so, posthumous.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think of that? I mean, this was one that he sort of didn't really want out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, this guy is known for being a complete perfectionist, like completely in control of every song, choreographed move, stage set, makeup, everything. And so to leave, you know, your legacy in the hands of like anonymous computer programmers who have to like make up dance routines on a computer screen for you just seems really.
Well, that wasn't him, right?
No, it's not. It's quantum physics, as Sean was trying to explain. Let's not let the blonde explain it right now.
But it was really interesting to see as an event.
You know what though?
It was mind blowing.
It was actually strange and creepy, right? Like, I was just like, can we not just like Jesus resurrected? To some, maybe he didn't, but like. This is happening. Like literally, we need to let people go from the music industry. Yeah. It's okay. You're saying it's okay. We know him as being great and a phenomenon, and this is just a little bit too much.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way.
And they brought back the dangerous era Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
If you're going to bring back Michael, off the wall.
This was actually more creepier than his Thriller. And it was meant to be.
I got to make a decision here. It's not an easy one, but I think I'm going to go with Jacqueline's choice this week, only because it just seemed seemed to be electric.
It's been a couple weeks that I've been winning. You better stop
I better stop
now. We're all heading to the club this week, I guess.
But thanks. 3 very different choices and a great conversation as always.
Thank you.
Guys. See you next Monday.